Welcome to the Ed Answer Key, the podcast where in the time it takes to complete hall duty and attendance, we embark on an educational adventure for both teachers and families. So whether you're a seasoned educator or a family navigating the school system, buckle up for the Ed Answer Key.
Standardized testing.
They are almost entirely useless for me.
There's no weight with standardized testing with me.
Although I can say that I think there's potential with something like standardized testing. I graded standardized tests one year. It was the writing portion of these tests. We had a quota. We had to do 150 a day, basically 150 of them in 8 hours, which was for me about perfect. I could do that. And it was basically just reading them and saying, all right, here's the number that it falls on this rubric. I took it very seriously and sort of enjoed doing it too.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, I'm kind of nerdy. There was a guy next to me who just kept telling me Michael Jackson jokes the entire time. Eventually, I turned to him and said, have you graded any of these tests? And he said, no. I said, shouldn't you be grading some of these tests? And he said, watch this. And then he turned to his computer and like 10 minutes later said, I just did 120 of them. I'm like, okay, well, you're not doing it right. And so that was wild. But the only reason I brought up that job was because I was moved where they had more of a portfolio where the teachers and the students, I guess, worked on compiling their writing from throughout the year. Instead of here's a prompt, here's 60 minutes, write this thing and be graded, and then we're going to determine how good of a writer you are. It was, this demonstrates the growth that the student had as a writer. Here's where a kid started, and then here's what they can do now, and you get to see that growth. I brought that up only to sort of show that I think there is potential with standardized tests, but right now they're not formative. And I think any test you give needs to be something that you're looking at and can use it to show your deficiency, to show what you need as a student. And standardized tests just can't do that.
You don't even get the data till like a year or two, like a year later.
I'm a parent. I do not care about my kids' standardized test scores. A couple weeks ago, my wife said, "Oh, we got an email. We got the scores in." And I said, "I don't care. Don't even tell me. I don't even want to know.
Yeah,
it means nothing to me."
Parting words. Anybody.
I told my wife that I was going to force a Bob Dylan quote in. So in the song, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to have this on my wall on my Bob Dylan wall for my start of my school year. In the song Forever Young, he says, "May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung," which I think is what it's all about. High expectations for these kids, but you have to work toward it. You have to climb on every rung. I can't wait to share that with the kids. They're going to love it, and they're going to love me.
Edit.
Anyway, that's my Bob Dylan quote has been met. So
Thank you.
Nice. Anyone else?
From what I've researched with education, especially with abolitionist teaching, where we're kind of getting rid of some of those systemic systems in our place, and they've been needing to come down for decades.
Totally.
And one of the bright sides, if there were any, to COVID was a lot of those things became glaringly obvious. Not just the systemic problems, but some of the problems that we are facing that we talked about today. And I would like to be optimistic and say that this may be a turning point, that education might look differently in just a few years. We're just in the thick of it right now. Yeah. And so a lot of our actions in these coming years are going to be crucial to see what education looks like if we don't all burn out first.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Ed Answer Key. Your support means the world to us. Be sure to stay in the loop about upcoming topics by downloading our free podcast companion at www.edanswerkey.com. So until next time, class dismissed.